Hey, what's up, guys? Tugi here, back again with another episode of my Montreal Canadiens franchise mode here on NHL 18. And let's get right down to business. Because in today's episode, we begin Season 3, and despite me being a little bit under the weather, damn it, that makes it worth it to record this. Now, however, I did say let's get right down to business. Let's talk about a couple of things first really quickly, and it all ties in together with where we are in the series at the moment. Now, I mentioned in the last episode how I wanted to try and keep the, real-life core together as much as possible. And when you look at the changes we've made to this team, we've done that for the most part. Year one, we did sign Yager instead of playing Hemsky. We also acquired Jack Johnson at the deadline. That was it, aside from, trading like Andreas Martinsen for nothing. Year two, we traded Al Montoya, which, in hindsight, not the greatest move I've ever made. We also picked up John Tavares off the free agent list, which didn't quite work out as well as we would have hoped. And that's led us into year three, where we were able to acquire a first-round pick for Carl Alsner. I simply couldn't decline that deal. And then we also traded Tavares for Coyle and Dumba. Now, while I didn't get the best return, we did pick up a second-line forward and a top-four defenseman. The reason why I didn't get the best return is because the AI teams have trouble managing their cap space, which is why we ended the last episode talking about potentially signing Jesse Puljujarvi. You see how it all ties together. So we weren't able to get maybe the ideal return for Tavares, although we were able to get two decent pieces to add to this team for a potential cup run. And that's why someone like Puljujarvi is still on the free agent list, or why in Hartford we managed to see Pasternak and Marner on the free agent list. I will say, though, as far as the comments section goes, I mean, whether or not you guys agree or disagree with certain moves I make or whatever, I'm cool with it. Don't worry, I don't take it personally. Unless it comes from Jim. Jim, words hurt, man. They do. I mean, I'm not going to tell you to be nicer, because, it's the internet. But just know, man, it hurts. It hurts when you're that cruel and negative. Anyway, the other big thing, of course, along with saying I wanted to keep the core together, was trading Shea Weber. I knew his value would drop as he got older. I'm not surprised. I want to win a cup with them, damn it. Despite him being a Hab, I was a fan. I'm still a fan of his, but I was a big fan of him when he was in Nashville. I want to win the cup. But anyway, getting down to today's focus, that is somehow managing to sign Jesse Puljujarvi and Derek Forbort. Now, here's the problem with Puljujarvi, because, of course, I did some investigative work in terms of what's Edmonton's current situation. Now, they have roughly $5.75 million in cap space. Here's the thing with that. I was going to try to do something very scummy, and that is, trading Andrew Shaw to them to make sure that I can sign Puljujarvi for cheap and also still afford Derek Forbort, because otherwise we're talking about signing Puljujarvi for $5.8 million. So again, that can't exactly happen. Now, I can just trade Andrew Shaw elsewhere to free up that cap space, and that's probably what I'm going to have to do, because as you can see, they still have, just under $2 million in cap space if I put Andrew Shaw on the list. And for the hell of it, let's just put Eero Pakarainen in there. It says that they're above the cap. So it's kind of a weird situation. So what I have to do is, if I want to get Forbort and Puljujarvi, Andrew Shaw has to go, which does suck because I do like him as a bottom six guy and as a penalty killer. So it's not exactly, a preferred situation, but when you look at Puljujarvi's trade value compared to what a first and a third is worth from us, or even a second-round pick, I mean, obviously, it's not even close. It's worth it doing whatever the hell we have to do to get Puljujarvi, and we still have Colorado's first. Now, I actually don't even know how good the Avalanche are. Oh, they're listed as champion. Right. Yeah, I'm sure that's the case already for Colorado, and before we lose to them in the Stanley Cup Final. So it's a weird spot, but as far as who else we could trade, it's basically Andrew Shaw. I mean, I was going to keep Greer and Nudivara and just send them down if I was able to pull this off without having to trade anybody. That is not the case. So Andrew Shaw, unfortunately, has to go, which means our fourth line might even be Greer, Deneau, McCarron, which kind of sucks. But to add Puljujärvi and Forbort, it might just be worth it. So I need to find a team that is willing to trade for Andrew Shaw. Minnesota, they are insane. I don't even think they could actually really afford that. But I'd love to trade him out west to not have to deal with him. So let's see. I mean, obviously, if I could even look for draft picks, I would. I want a player with 1 year left on a two-way deal. So we're looking at Gabriel, Landon Ferraro, Scott Kosmachuk. And I'll actually go for Landon Ferraro. We might be able to make this work. Again, I don't want to get rid of Andrew Shaw, but we're talking about signing Jesse Puljujärvi. It has to be done. It has to be. So let's see. Even say a third-round pick in Landon Ferraro, what do they think about that? Value's too far off the table. Okay, I mean, obviously we're not going to get much because of his cap hit. We knew that to begin with. How about a fourth and a fifth in Ferraro? And there you go. You know what? I thought we'd have a little bit more trouble trying to trade Andrew Shaw because of that cap hit, but I mean, we're building up Minnesota with Tavares and Shaw, and now we should have the cap space to be able to sign Puljujärvi. Yeah, we got $9 million. We're golden. We are golden. We should be able to do what we have to do to make sure that Edmonton can no longer afford either, or that Edmonton can't afford Puljujärvi, and we'll have the cap space to be able to sign Derek Forbort, if I am not mistaken. Now, I'm thinking 5.8. I'm thinking 5.8 will definitely be enough. We're going to give him, the 1 extra year other than, or more than what he wants. But, again, what did we have for cap space? I need to make sure that it's all right in my head. Let's say we sign Forbort to $2.5 million. I could offer Puljujärvi $6 million. So, yeah, we are golden. So, I'm going to go 3 years. I think 5.8 is enough. I do. I think 5.8 is enough to make sure that Edmonton can't sign Puljujärvi. We are going to have to give up a first and a third, which is what I expected, but again, it's more than worth it. And then Derek Forbort, we're going to drop him down. Even though I could sign him to what he wants, let's go for 2.5, and we'll see if both players accept. I mean, I'm sure Puljujärvi will accept. It's just a matter of whether or not Edmonton can match that deal, which at this point, I don't think they can. Like I said, I think 5.8, as it's funny, our locker room chemistry skyrocketed once we traded Shaw. I think 5.8 is enough. And thank you, Derek Forbort, taking a little bit of a discount. Welcome back to Montreal. I appreciate it. Again, I wanted to keep him. He wanted like $4.5 million for 1 season. That wasn't going to happen. Or per season. That wasn't going to happen. But let's see. We should be hearing back from Edmonton right here and right now. And we are good. Edmonton cannot match it. We give up a first and a third to pick up Jesse Puljujärvi. And we are looking like a true cup contender for the 3rd year in a row. We had to sacrifice Andrew Shaw. So as far as players, from that Bergevin core that, we started with, I've traded Alzner and Shaw. Haven't traded Weber yet. I mean, of course, we also, traded Montoya, and we have Ryan Miller as the backup. But let's take a look at this team. And again, I'm going to probably have Nudivara down in the AHL. I could just trade him, although he doesn't really have that much value. And then we'll call up Puljujärvi in favor of Landon Ferraro. Now, before we get into the sim, I do need to sort out the AHL. I haven't done that yet. I promise we'll sim at least a little bit, though, into the season. But if we go best lines, Puljujärvi is listed as a second-line guy. So obviously our top line is Pacioretty, Galchenyuk, Drouin. Second line will be Coyle, Gallagher, Puljujärvi. And then the third line, again, it's just a matter of who do we put down there. And the reason why I'm saying Philip Deneau is just because, he's at his max potential, where a Sherbak could still get better if we play him on the third line. And I don't know. It's tough. We could easily put Sherbak down, or Charlie Hudon. I mean, these 3 right here all have the ability to play center. But I think that's that's what we're at least going to start the season with. Excuse me, again, a little bit under the weather, I'm sorry. Let's take a look here. Who would we rather have? I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter who plays on what side, to be honest. What do I want to do here? I mean, because I probably want Galchenyuk and Drouin on the top line. Even though it would be more beneficial, apparently, to have Drouin at center, but we'll leave Galchenyuk there. You know, I could go with Gallagher on the left. Although I think Puljujärvi might have a slightly better shot. Maybe we'll go Puljujärvi on the left with Coyle and Gallagher. I mean, that top six, we're without John Tavares now, but we have added Puljujärvi and Coyle. So it's not like we're suffering tremendously. I mean, I do like the look of this team. I would rather have Shaw than AJ Greer at this point, but we just couldn't have that work out cap space-wise. There's still, like I said, a lot we could do as far as moving players to certain spots, you know, changing player types, position, you know, the left wing, right wing crap. I mean, we could change all of that. And then, of course, defensively, let's take a look. See, I knew these guys were lefties. Petrie is a righty, though. So maybe... I mean, I planned on having Butcher and Forbort, but maybe we should go Nurse, Weber, Dumba, Forbort, Butcher, Petrie? We could do that. Just to start, because I imagine Petrie will... Actually, he won't have power play time. Will he have PK time? He will. Okay, Danault also has time there. So we could change all that up, too, depending on how certain players react to it. But I think that might be the opening night lineup. That might be the opening night lineup. And like I said, Pacioretty, I mean, he'll pretty much be the top line left wing. You could argue change him back to a sniper. Could at least change Galchenyuk back to a center. And probably should. I could change Puljujärvi to a left wing. He is a really good two-way player, though. All right, so you know what? I think that's actually what we'll do really quick. Let's go change Galchenyuk to a center, Puljujärvi to a left wing. And then we'll go best lines, and that'll at least fix up the power play a little bit. So let's do that really quick. Then we have to figure out the AHL setup, and then I promise we'll at least get the sim a month into the season. It's not... We're not going to make it that far into the season in this episode, but to say that we are set up this year again to be cup contenders, it's an understatement. And especially, too, when you add someone like a Puljujärvi for only a first and a third, that is an impact signing. And then, of course, we'll see what Galchenyuk and Drouin can do. I mean, you could argue it would be worth having both of them as the centers in the top six, rather than both being on the same line, even though they are both first-line players. So let's get that sorted. Then we'll take a look at the AHL, which, I mean, there are going to have to be changes. I mean, that's a guarantee, of course. But let's go ahead and see what this looks like. So let's go best lines. And aside from it swapping Danault and Sherback, we're pretty much good to go. But again, I don't want Sherback on the power play. Danault gets PK time. So that's why it makes sense to me to have Danault on the fourth line. Even though he deserves a bit of a better role. Oh, so let's see. I mean, I can just go Nurse, Petrie, and then, Forbort, Butcher, and have Weber and Dumba on the same line. We can do that. Like I said, there's so many different combinations with this team. It's ridiculous. But that is the current power play setup. I'm cool with that. You could argue maybe someone like Hudon deserves a bit of time. Maybe take Nurse and Butcher out and just have Weber and Dumba as the only two defensemen. So many different combinations. We're not going to be simming too far into the year, so you guys will have your opportunity to let me know what you think we should do. So really quick, let's figure out what this AHL team is going to be. Now, last year we took the approach of letting a lot of our younger players develop. It is going to be similar. As, God, ignore that background noise. Am I not just the worst damn YouTuber? I'm not even going to call myself a YouTuber. That sounds awful. Am I not just the worst in general, though? For not being fully prepared. What's the matter with me? You know me at this point, if you've been watching this series, man. I prefer to have my piece of paper and to be able to write out my depth chart in front of me. Skarek is going to have to go, as we have pretty much established. So let's see if we can find a landing spot for him. Of course, well, actually, we could wait really quick. It might be difficult to trade a lot of these players together. That's what I'm a little bit worried about. But we'll see if we can do that just to raise up their value. And then let's see. So Jenks, he's only a 56, but he definitely has a spot on the defense this year. We also have Juleson, who of course we know is going to play. Smith, I don't think can be signed yet still, which kind of sucks. Excuse me again. Damn it, we're battling. We're battling this. Swig of Arnold Palmer. A better YouTuber would edit. YouTuber in general would edit. And damn it, this controller's quitting out on me, by the way. I got to buy a new one. So we have Cale Fleury. We also have Scott Walford on defense. We have Niemelainen. Ruinen. Jesus, the names. Mete, I believe it is. And from there, it would be Nudivara and Bork. So we do have too many. We do have too many defensemen, unfortunately. So we got to get rid of at least 2 of these players. I mean, I think the obvious one would be Bork, even though he's a 71. Like, he's actually improved fairly well. Simon Bork, former 6th round pick for the Habs. He had 14 points in 82 games last year. I think the obvious one to trade would be Nudivara. He's just taking up cap space. So he is gone. I wanted to keep him, but we also have enough players that, deserve that ice time. And as it is, we have players that are going to be struggling for ice time to begin with. So it's a bit of a rough situation there. Oh, let's take a look. All of these medium top 6 players. 63 overall at 20 years old for Walford. He might be the odd man out. You got 21-year-olds, you got a 66 at 21 years old, or you got a 63 at 20 years old. I hate to say it, I think Scott Walford's got to be the guy that gets moved, unfortunately. So Walford and Nudivara are the odd men out. And to be honest, it's not even looking like we're going to be able to bring in any defensive help. We're pretty much just going to have to go with the players that we have. I was thinking of bringing in some veterans. That's not going to happen. So Skarek, Nudivara, and Walford. Right. Would it be worth looking to bring in prospects or just picks? That's the question I have at the moment, as the Bruins are looking to sell a little bit. Damn shame to see the Bruins have to sell. A lot of teams are looking to sell. Hinostroza is an RFA. Yoki Harju, though. Again, see, it doesn't really help, though. It would have to be an unsigned player, as Corby Salo's being shopped. Wow. Peyton Krebs, is he signed? Damn it, you signed him. Why did you sign him? It could have been a perfect fit. Yeah, at this point, I'm basically... I mean, any prospect, wow, Philip Forsberg's on the block. Oh my God, Adam Henrique's on the block. This is ridiculous. See, what did I tell you about teams and their cap management? So at this point, Adam McQuaid's in Vegas, way to go. At this point, we are just going to have to trade for picks. So let's see if we can do that. And let's see if we can make a deal. It's not going to happen with Anaheim. Could it happen with Boston? Maybe. Not that I want to send any of these players to Boston, and they don't want to, make any trades. Hold on, let's scroll back through here. Buffalo, Calgary. We might be able to make a deal with Calgary. So we have a second. How about a second, third, and a fifth? Just to see what they think. Rejected. How about a second and a third? How about a second and a nice shiny 6th round pick? What do you say? Just the second? I mean, it's, obviously they don't want any of the players. Columbus at least wants Nudivara. That might help. Let's talk to Columbus. How about, again, we'll try the second, third, and fifth just to see where we currently stand. How about just the second and the third? Just the second? I could have added like a 4th or a 6th onto that. But you know what? I'm okay with it. I mean, we gave up a meh goalie, a medium top 6 defenseman, and a 25-year-old defenseman. I'm cool with that. We managed to get a second-round pick for it. So the defense is looking good. Let's go check out the edit lines screen just to double-check what we are dealing with the forwards, because I'm pretty sure that's a more, a difficult situation to figure out. So we'll go best lines. So let's see here again. The goaltending is set with Fukale and McNiven. You now have Hallinan as the backup. And then we do have LeBlanc isn't ours. Jenks and Brook are. We want Jenks to play, but he's also only a 56. I mean, we could go with this team, and they'd be looking all right. And then we have Jenks and Brook. Brook's low top 4? Yeah, Brooks is low top 4. Norm Jenks is medium top 4. So I think I might just leave the defense the way it is for now. And let me know what you think. Should I keep this team, pretty much the same? Defensively, at least, at the moment? Should I keep it the same and let some of these higher overall guys get to play? Because at the very least, the team will be a bit better than last year. Like I said, I thought I might have to bring in some veterans, but that would take Ruwainen, Fleury, and Niemelainen out of the lineup. Well, let me know what you think. Do we go with the medium top 6 players that are a little bit better, or do we go with the medium top 4 and low top 4 that are considerably worse? How do you think we should approach this season with the Laval Rocket? Now, as far as setting up this team, we do have some players here, again, that are under AHL deals, which is a real pain in the ass when it comes to having to go with best lines, but I just haven't gone through the trouble of signing them, only to get rid of them. We need to get rid of David Brohl as well. We do at least have Landon Ferraro that can make the team a little bit better. So I think, as far as scratched players go with forwards, the bottom 4 that you see here are all under AHL deals. They're not, signed to us. Those top 3 are. So it would be worth signing potentially another player or two. The big question is, do we want to play Jääskeläinen? Low elite, only a 59. The answer is yes. So that might be our team right there. Again, I could go out and sign other veterans, but, I mean, we pretty much want these players to be in the lineup. So it might be worth just not even signing anybody, and just when there's an injury, you put in Veilleux, Petty, Brohl. It pretty much looks like the way to go. Might as well take advantage of those guys being signed. So let's take a look at what this team would be as we look to start the new season. Let's just even say that Bitten is over there, I guess, maybe. Let's take a look. Geeky, 69 face-off rating, 73 for Stelios, 71 for Bitten, 75 for Ikonen. Right. Well, actually, I think I'd rather go with Stelio there. Have Ikonen on the 4th line. You got Audette at a 73. 73 for Stelio, 75 for Kosarenkov, and a 71 for Jääskeläinen. So that's pretty much good. I think we're pretty much good to go. I haven't, sorted them out by potentials. I mean, we don't have anybody that's, like, tremendous. And Kosarenkov at high top 9 and the low elite Jääskeläinen on the 4th line. That's what Laval's going to look like this year. They're a little bit better. It's still a lot of our younger players. Again, we could get rid of some of these guys and have the Rocket be, Calder Cup contenders for the entire season. But I think the better bet right now is just to give some of those guys a chance. It's just, again, whether or not I want to sign a veteran or two like Landon Ferraro to help out. But I think for now, we are good. Let me clear out the trading block. It was actually much, much quicker to sort out the AHL team than I would have thought that it would have been. So let's clear out the trading block. I do want to see as well who our captain is at the moment. I mean, it's still going to be Pacioretty unless the game took it off of him, but the alternates as well. I want to double check, and then we'll sim at least the first month of the season. We will view the draft class really quick because I know you guys, you said it's worth looking this year. So let's take a look. I don't think we'll have any exact players at this point in time. We don't. But as I head towards the draft, I will at least make sure to keep double checking that, okay? I promise you have my word. I will keep an eye out on that menu. So let's see. Wow, okay, I thought it brought me way back to the first one. Captains and jerseys, right. So Pacioretty, Gallagher, Weber. I'm cool with that. Just flat out, I'm cool with that. There's no need to move anything else around to mess with the morale. So let's go ahead and sim this first season and see how good of a start we have. Well, let's do it. It's a very busy first month of October as well. So let's go ahead. I did get in trouble a little bit there for trading Nudivara so quickly, which, I mean, technically we re-signed him, but because he hit the free agent list as an RFA, we got in a little bit of trouble over that. But it is what it is. I'm not exactly concerned. We had an undefeated preseason, by the way, 7-0 record, and then we lost our first game in the shootout to Toronto. So that sounds about right. Again, as far as my drafting strategy or a scouting strategy this year, I think it's pretty much just going to be scout for 2 weeks, forward and defense, and then scout goaltenders wherever I can. Basically, at the end of the year, I mean, again, God, I wish this game gave you more than one scout. It would be a little bit more fair. But it is what it is. We lost our first 2 games of the season in overtime. We beat Edmonton and San Jose back-to-back. And then we shut out Boston 6-0. We lost to Buffalo and Columbus. I would have loved to have beaten the Sabres. That didn't happen. Laval, they're 7-0-1. Well, I guess the Rocket are good to go this year then, huh? I guess we don't have to worry about making any signings for that team. And before they lose the next 18 games, of course. But let's see. We are guaranteed to finish with a winning record for the first month, although we did lose to Toronto 6-2 as we move into November. But a 7-3-3 record for the Habs, 9-3-1 down in Laval for the Rockets. So, not a bad start. Not a bad start, which is what you would have hoped for with this team. Let's take a look. We are currently in second. Oh my God, Tampa, 11-1 record to start the year. Of course, it's way too early to try and predict what this, team's going to look like this year. We do have 82 chemistry, though, which is nice. Way too early to try and predict what this team is going to look like. We will take a look at the stats, though, really quickly. So Pacioretty has 20 points in 13 games, which is pretty sweet, and he's happy morale-wise. Alex Galchenyuk with 11 points in 20 games. Not terrible. Not upset about ice time either. And Jonathan Drouin with 12 points in, did I say 20 games for Galchenyuk? It was 13. Of course, it was 20 points for Pacioretty. And Drouin is all right morale-wise. So the top line's doing well. Puljujärvi has 10 points. He's actually a minus player, but he does have 10 points. He's all right morale-wise. Charlie Coyle, not happy with his recent performances. That's why he only has 5 points, which is not ideal at all. I mean, you could talk about, if he struggles enough, potentially bumping him down to the third line, even. We'll see. Again, this team has a lot of maneuverability. And in fairness, Gallagher only has 7 points so far. So that second line's struggling a little bit offensively. But morale-wise, they're all at least happy with their ice time. Charlie Hudon with 4 points in 13 games, happy with his ice time. Scherbak's also happy, as is Lehkonen. Lehkonen has 4 points, 5 points for Scherbak. And then on the fourth line, AJ Greer has gone up an overall point. He has 2 points this season. And Philip Deneau, I love you. I mean, he doesn't complain about ice time. I love this guy. And he does have 6 points this year, 2 goals so far for Mike McCarron. So again, you could talk about maybe switching certain things up, but we do have a winning record at the moment. Defensively, Shea Weber with 8 points. He's a -4. You could, maybe bring him, or, switch him back to a 2-way. He has 7 years left on his deal. Oh my God. Matt Dumba currently has 7 points in 13 games. Second pairing, Darnell Nurse with 7 points. The 1 point for Jeff Petrie. And then the third pairing, we have Derek Forbort, 1 point, but he's a +6. With Will Butcher, who has 6 points, and he is a +7. So that third pairing is as good as I would have wanted them to be, and I am so happy about that. The goaltender, of course, Carey Price, has a .920 save percentage. Ryan Miller's played one game. Didn't have the best save percentage. He did make 27 saves, and he picked up the win. So, with the main team right now, the only thing we could really discuss is, maybe switching up the lines. But at the moment, we're doing decently enough. And then down in the AHL, Jääskeläinen actually went down a point. But down in the AHL, Jeremiah Addison's killing it. Audette's killing it. Landon Ferraro's killing it. Elnewick's doing okay. Kosarenkov's doing all right. Geeky, 8 points so far. Lachician? Jake is doing great with 11 points. Stelio's doing well. Will Bitten with 8 points. I mean, things are looking good. Even defensively. Mete, of course, who... Let's be honest, if EA doesn't kind of bump him up with their first roster update, I definitely will. He's been killing it for Montreal in the preseason for the most part. 8 points, he's a plus 11. Noah Juleson has 5 points. I mean, it's looking good. I don't think we have to change anything right now with this team. And of course, you do have Zach Fucale, who has a .926 save percentage. McNiven has 4 appearances, and he has a .917. So, despite it looking a little bit rocky at times, and despite the teams not exactly being perfect, we're still on a really good pace with both teams. I'm loving how, this season has started. I love the look of the team as well. Both teams, I think this could be a pretty big year for us. I think this could be the year that the Rocket return to the playoffs. Of course, they won the Calder Cup in year 1 and missed out in year 2. And I'd like to think that the Habs are, at the very least, going to return to the postseason. But again, we still have a long way to go. Remember how last year ended with 3 teams tied at 100 points. So guys, that will do it for this one. I hope you did enjoy. Looking forward to your feedback down in the comment section below. Of course, there are a bunch of different things that you could give your input on as far as what we could do with this team. I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say. Again, keep in mind, with the the YouTube grind and the Twitch grind, I haven't been able to get back to comments as much, but I do read the entire damn comment section. I might not get back to everybody, but I see what you're saying. Trust me. As if the first 5 minutes of the video, didn't prove that when I'm sitting here talking about, hey, here's our history so far and why I haven't moved Shea Weber. But again, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did and you want to support the video further and the channel further, you can leave a like, you can subscribe, and all that stuff. You know what to do. Links are in the description as well. And yeah, that pretty much does it. I'm going to go continue being sick until I can edit this video. Yeah, have a great day, guys. I'll catch you later. Goodbye.